Hi, this is Hiroki Kudo. An update. Today is day 18. So third week of our startup. I want to report the progress, tell you how we're doing. Also like a bit of update of gear. I have now a remote, don't want to touch this too much, but lapel, we call them. Lav mic, you say, wireless one. I used to have this very long wire that I had to connect to my iPhone and all that. So now it's just more easy to take videos and record, capture my voice. Just ease of mind. It's great. Thank you, technology. A lot of people are looking for jobs, entry-level jobs, but they can't find, their jobs. Also, managers are trying to find good workers, but they are having a struggle of finding them, filtering them through, and also retaining them. So that's what we want to do. Kind of recap of what we're doing. Now on to our progress. Two things I think I can report to. One is the fantastic thing about deadlines. Deadlines are really important. It kind of pushes you toward the goal, gets you going, gets you, you have to deliver results. And sometimes if you don't have a deadline, you kind of lag and you do things forever, but delivering is really important. So setting up deadlines is really good. One of the deadlines we had was we were applying for Y Combinator. The deadline for Y Combinator was on Friday, April 7th, 8 p.m. Pacific time. So we got the application sent, fingers crossed for the results. We'll continue to update our application because I see we can do so. So we'll update our application, communicate with the Y Combinator 2 of showing how we're doing in our startup. So deadlines and our application to Y Combinator. Okay, so after I filmed the video, I forgot a very important element that I need to say is, and I'm sure a lot of people would be interested, is why Y Combinator? Why did we apply? If you're a startup or related in the community, you know that Y Combinator has a very strong name. It's very famous, and it's been one of the oldest startup accelerator programs around. One of the famous ones, you would have 500 startups, Techstars, Alchemist, Accelerator. All those are wonderful, definitely, but I find that Y Combinator stands out the most because of two things particular. One is about the community. I've been a part of a community of a lot of things. I started up the FinTech Association in Japan. I've also been a very active member of the startup community in Japan. I've moved to Vancouver roughly 2 years ago, but I have joined Entrepreneurship UEBC. I am a entrepreneurship resident for Foresight Canada. So I want to get involved and I want to contribute, give back to the community as much as I can. I want to share my experience as a serial entrepreneur. So that's my intention. So joining a very strong community, not just gaining from that, but also trying to give back and to live in that community, I think is really, really important. It will be just giving me a more meaning for life, just giving me more meaning of why I'm doing a startup. I'll be learning so much and it'll just be fulfilling. So community element is really, really important. Definitely want to do my best to enhance the community that already exists in Y Combinator. The second point is the pay forward culture that I feel is around, generally in the Bay Area, of course, but especially I think in Y Combinator has so many famous startups: Airbnb, Stripe, Instacart, DoorDash, Coinbase, Reddit, Zapier, just so many, just to name a few, but just so many. So the pay forward culture related to the community is really important. So as a very early stage startup, there's so much value that you have, but because this alumni wants to support the community, a lot of founders step up to do talks. They share their experience, information, their skills. They would help up earlier startups. So that, some founders who have succeeded would invest in these early stage startups. They would be angel investors and whatnot. So this pay forward culture, I think, is really important for the startup community because there's so much risk associated to early stage startups. You really don't know what will succeed and what will fail. So there needs to be a lot of belief in what you're doing, although a lot of people might not understand what the hell you're doing, even yourself. But the belief of somebody trying to do something to make this world a better world and to make a positive dent in the world, I think needs a lot of support, and the pay forward culture definitely supports that. So getting involved, not just receiving, but also going in the future, I want to share and contribute my part to the community. So becoming a part of the community is really important. The pay forward culture is also important. Example of like my choice, I went to a MBA school called INSEAD, but like among all the wonderful MBA schools that are out there, including the US ones, I could have joined the other schools, but I thought that INSEAD had the most richest culture, richest community. It's very diversified. It has alumni all over the world, like you name it, in any country. So if you go to a city, if you look up the alumni directory, you'll definitely find somebody there. And if you would call them, send them an email, most likely they will respond. So this supportive network, this community has definitely helped me settle into Vancouver. But also, I've had a lot of people come to Tokyo or other places that will call on me, and I'll do my best to help them out as well. So helping each other, we can do much more than just by working individually. So this whole community makes a lot of sense, and I definitely believe in this. So this is the rough reason why I'm joining Y Combinator. We're not really sure if we're going to get accepted, fingers crossed. And if you could wish us our best, that would be awesome. But once we are in, we'll definitely find our way to contribute to the community. Okay, so back to the main video. Also, doing more interviews with companies, we found out that there seems to be some difference in industries. So for when we call, our theme is about entry-level jobs. We want to provide a solution for entry-level jobs for the workers and also for the HR managers who are trying to hire them. So I've been talking to a lot of restaurants and warehouses, logistic companies. It seems that the companies that are doing well seem to be not hiring. So they've retained their good workers, and that seems to be working well. Some restaurant says, hey, like we haven't hired for a while, because only time we hire is basically when somebody leaves, and that doesn't happen that often. So good for them. We probably need to find the industries that have more like, burst of need for workers. Let's say like I used to work when I was a student in event companies. When an event happens, you need all these people, but once the event's not there anymore, like you don't need those people. So you have to have these part-timers, a lot of them, to successfully prepare for an event and to manage events. So you would set up like stages. Also, you would have people managing the traffic, the crowds. So those people are necessary. Those were usually part-timers back in Japan at least. Also, there will be marketing schemes. Like let's say you will hand out samples of like food. There's a new flavor for this gum coming out. So you have people handing that. For that, like you don't have full-time people for that. So you'll just gather like 5-10 people to just do that marketing gig. So I'm guessing that those would need more part-time, gig work sort of people, and they would probably have trouble finding those people, my guess. So we need to kind of dig in that. Also for logistic companies, warehouse companies, and restaurants that we have interviewed, there seems to be some that are doing well and some that are not doing well. And we kind of want to understand like what is the difference? Is it because of location? They have a larger restaurant or like warehouse that they just need more people, is it? Or I don't know, they're just bad managers that they can't retain the working force. Maybe that's the case. We kind of want to understand why that's happening. So far, we've talked to a lot of companies, businesses, and they seem to be doing very well. So they understand that retaining the working force, they need to take care of them, they need to invest, they need to train them, and all that seems to be paying off for them. So I think that's a really important element. So it's not just the hiring, it's the communication, the continuous communication with the workers, making sure that they're taken care of, they're needed, they're wanted, and it's worthwhile to spend time working at that environment. So this is an interesting point that I found. It's a bit away from the hiring part, but it kind of goes aligned. So if you can maintain your working force. There's not much more need for hiring. But then again, the question is like, are the managers aware that investing in the workers is going to pay out in the long run? Maybe, maybe not. So this might be a more potential area that we want to investigate, but we need to learn more about this. But anyway, that's sort of week 3. This is our progress. Stick around to follow us if you want to see our progress. You want to find a really severe pain, find a really great solution in a large market, and also find a solution that is scalable so that we can become a unicorn. So follow our progress, our journey to become a unicorn. If there's anything you can learn from that, that's great. Also, if you have any advice, any comments, anything, please write in the comment section below. We really appreciate that. So till next week, bye.